the shit hot. Oh, I'ma light the shit up. Yeah, I'ma make the shit hot. Oh, I'ma light the shit up.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let me turn my microphone up a little bit just for you lot. And let me also mute Discord, because that is the most annoying thing I've ever heard. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, this is part 6 of what if Naruto could absorb life energy. We're near the end, but not near there yet. Anyway, I'm not going to drag out too long. Last time we left off, Naruto gained the Great Sage's ability. The first ever Toad to use Sage Mode, Naruto got his chakra, his life energy, giving him unique abilities. And last time I said he can control animals, I also meant he can turn people into animals. I don't know why I said control. But yes, he can turn people into animals and then control them. But then he met up with Sasuke, and now we're back there. We cut to Naruto and Sasuke, who are at the most happiest they've been in the last 3 years, being reunited with their brothers, what it feels like to them. So they start talking. Naruto asks him first, "So Sasuke, what did you do?" Sasuke went a bit quiet and he said, "Well, I learnt that the reason Itachi killed my clan is because the Leaf Village ordered so. And I don't know if it was Third Hokage or Danzo, but either way they need to die." Hearing this, Naruto gets thrown off guard, but he's going to support Sasuke more than his own village. And he says, Sasuke goes to Naruto, "Well, I suppose you're not going to support me, but I don't want to fight you." Naruto slaps him and says, "Support you? If you want to destroy that village, let's go blow it up right now." Hearing this touches Sasuke off guard, but it reassures them their friendship is still there. Then it explains how he went to the Great White Sage and explained how he'd been cheated out of his power, about how Kabuto lied to him about Orochimaru actually being dead. And as such, the Great White Sage taught Sasuke a different version of it, a version where similar, a rip-off of the Toad Sage mode, where he can access it without having to turn into a snake. Naruto activates his own Snake Sage mode. "You mean like this?" Sasuke says, "Exactly. How did you?" And Naruto says, "Well, I've also learnt Snake Sage mode from killing Orochimaru, and I also learnt Toad Sage mode." Hearing this, Sasuke laughs. Next thing you know, he activates his Magenko Sharingan, showing it off. And Sasuke says to him, Naruto says to Sasuke, that's a different pattern than before." Sasuke said, "Yes, although it isn't the eternal Magenko Sharingan, which I will gain after killing Itachi, this is the Sage Magenko Sharingan. It basically unlocks a new ability." So Naruto asked what this ability is, and he said, "I'll show you in time." Other than that, I think we should keep our cards close to our chest, Naruto. How about you tell me some of your abilities? Naruto laughs and says, "Of course." He puts his hand up to the sky and sends a massive wall of fire shooting out of his hand as if it was nothing, no hand signs. Then he waves his hands and the trees begin to move around them, wood style. He stumps on the ground and it turns and the wall appears all around them of earth, and then Naruto pushes him down. He does this with every single nature style. After absorbing, I should say, the Great Sage's chakra, Naruto finally figured out, there's Great Sage's life energy, he finally figured out the final step to using jutsu with no hand signs. It requires Sage energy. Seeing this, Sasuke is amazed and he says, "You're always one step ahead." Naruto says, "You have no idea." Next thing Naruto does, he sees an animal and he points towards it. It was a squirrel and it became a wolf, and he returns to the squirrel. The squirrel shakes his head, a bit caught off guard, but carries on walking. Sasuke he's very caught by surprise, and Naruto says, "I don't know, it's like I can control the very essence of their life." Next thing you know, Naruto has his arm there, his hand in front of him, a white orb appears and it molds, and it becomes a baby bird. So Naruto says, "Not only this, I can create life at will. But, as you said, let's keep our cards to our chests." So Sasuke's just amazed. So is Jiraiya. Naruto figured how he could do this on the way to get into Sasuke. But other than that, Naruto also shows off some of his new jutsus, one that Jiraiya and him specifically developed, the Rasen Shuriken. And there was also the Rasen Bomb. But we'll talk about that later. They speed back to the village, and when they get there, they're welcomed by Hinata and Sakura. Sakura dives at Sasuke, and Sasuke boots her in the chest, saying, "Fuck off." Okay, I'm joking. You know what? We're keeping it in. I was gonna make Sasuke dodge, but that was way better. And Hinata goes up to Naruto, going, "Naruto." Naruto puts Hinata on the head, saying, "Let's talk later, Hinata." And as such, Hinata blushes and nearly passes out, but she agrees. They go to the third Hokage's office, and by their surprise, the fifth, a blonde-headed woman, is sitting there with the third Hokage next to her. And she goes, "So you must be Naruto Uzumaki. You were gone for a long time, but I'm the fifth Hokage. Your best friend Sakura." Naruto says, "Hold up, best friend? I'm not best friends with that useless bastard." So Naruto goes, "How dare you call my student useless?" And he goes, "Oh, so she did become your student. I take it back, so she might be a bit useful now." Tsunade's veins bulge, but she takes a deep breath. From what she heard, there's no need to make a bad relationship with Naruto, who could be the strongest ninja in this village. She explains how the third Hokage is getting on in age, and Naruto looks over, he winces. 5 years left for the third Hokage in his lifespan. And Naruto looks at her and says, "Wait, you're 56? Tsunade blushes it. How do you know my age?" That's when Jiraiya walks in behind him, and then Tsunade blushes again, but she doesn't let it show. And she goes, "Anyway, we promoted you both to Jonin, considering we've heard rumours of your great defeats in many other nations. I heard you stopped the rebellion in the Sand Village. But there's no time for that. You have a mission. Your friend Gaara, yes again, it was not a rebellion, but Akatsuki captured him, and we believe they're planning to extract the One Tail. If this happens, Gaara loses life." Hearing this, Naruto's eyes flare red with the Kyuubi. The third Hokage and Tsunade get ready to fight, and Naruto says, "Relax yourself, I can control it." Him and Sasuke leave immediately, with Sasuke and Kakashi following them. Jiraiya said he had to handle other businesses. Naruto and Sasuke get bored waiting for Kakashi and Sakura to keep up, and they both disappear in a blast, and like a shockwave appears behind them. Kakashi smiles, learning how strong his team has become, and Sakura, well, she's alright. They get there in time to the Akatsuki hideout, and they stand next to the wall, hiding. Not because they're scared, they want to figure out a way to get in and save Gaara the most efficiently. After about 2 minutes of surveying and checking the ground for seals, Kakashi and Sakura finally show up. They figured out what they need to do. Naruto goes up to the wall and he's ready to punch it, and Sasuke goes, "No Naruto, let me show you." Sasuke activates his Susanoo, not the full perfect Susanoo, but enough with a bow, and he shoots an arrow at breaking the wall. At this time, every single Akatsuki member is there, and he sees Gaara in the middle. Naruto gets pissed, and before anyone could react, snatches Gaara out of the seal, getting caught in it himself. The Gedo statue is just there, absorbing him. Naruto's starting to get pissed. He overwhelms it with pure life energy. This wakes up the Ten Tails, but it disappears in a flash, or more like in a weird spiral. Naruto says, that is not normal. But then, Kisame dives at him saying, you stole my sword, die now, already in his zero-tailed beast form. Naruto dodges out of the way and decks him in the chin, grabbing him by his throat and slamming him down. He pulls out his blade and stabs him in the chest, absorbing everything. Everyone except for Sasuke was amazed by this. Naruto has gotten so strong in such a short period of time. Well, not short. Shut up! Instagram, dubbed the prophet. Ooh, I need to go check out what that quote says. When next, Konan throws paper bombs at him and Naruto just eats it, activating KCM1. He blitzes Dodaria, who Naruto got told that was the one he kidnapped him. He slaps Dodaria's head off, but his body just explodes. Damn it, a clone. Naruto surveys the area, but before he can even do that, he hears Dodaria scream. Sasuke's caught him in the Susanoo, and he begins to crush him. After crushing his spine, he lets him fall, and Naruto dives towards him and slashes him, absorbing his soul and his life force. This continues to go on and on. Toby runs away. And over time, the only people who were left were Nagato and Konan. Well, Pain. Naruto says, "So what? You're meant to be someone special, are ya?" Hearing this pisses Conan off mostly, and finally Naruto senses it and he says, "Sasuke, to your right, Itachi's here." Hearing this, Sasuke's eyes light up and he speeds towards it. Then I'll go to what happens there. Naruto begins fighting Conan with that pain watching. He's easily deflecting every single one of Conan's attacks, even E to most of the explosions in his Sage mode. And he gets bored of it. That's when it happens. Chains explode from his back and it tears through Conan. But something Conan wasn't expecting. These chains have a chakra sensor. It's new. And where she was hiding, they'd follow her and pierce her heart. Seeing this pain explode with anger, blowing Naruto back, he says, "What is that?" He recognises it as the Rinnegan. He was told this by one of the great Toad Sage. And he laughs and says, "This fight's going to be fun." They split up into the 6 paths of pain while they appear, and they begin attacking Naruto. Naruto moves out the way of one slash and grabs their really big one by the head and turns him into a toad statue with ease. Then to the one that was shooting missiles at him, he jumped up and punched it into the ground, shattering its body. He looks up and his chains destroys the other 2. He whips out his blade, and the final one is set for the main body. He slices that. Naruto felt weird. He just learnt a new ability, one of the Rinnegan abilities it seems. Naruto looks to all the dead bodies that have been decomposed and he puts his hand up and it absorbs it all. That's when it happens. One of Naruto's eyes turn purple. He looks in a puddle. Did he just unlock a Rinnegan? He ignores this for now, but all the abilities of the pains that he killed, he just gained them, stole them. So now the original pain has nothing else except for Almighty Push. But he believes that's all he needs. He launches Almighty Push at Naruto, and Naruto just roars back, actually deflecting it. No, overpowering the Almighty Push. Sending the pain flying backwards. And Naruto isn't one to risk time. He appears in front of him, entering KCM2 to get even more speed, blitzes, ripping out his heart. Naruto looks down and sees nothing, just an empty hole. But he slashes it with his sword anyway, gaining that Almighty Push ability. Naruto finally senses where Nagato is, and he sprints over to him. When he gets there, he's caught off guard. Nagato has a Rinnegan, but it's all white. He screams, "What did you do? I can't see. You stole my abilities." Naruto laughs and says, "So you split your things up to gain into separate abilities, but I stole them. Now you lost everything." I'm not even gonna ask. And Nagato says, "Wait, the Gedo statue was formed. I know. I recognise my mistakes now. My last piece of redemption is, if that 10 toes is formed, your village is gone." Hearing this, Naruto snaps and he says, "Thank you for this. I'll give you a painless death." He slashes off Nagato's head, absorbing the final ability. Then it happens. The other side of his eye turns purple. He's unlocked the Rinnegan. He then informs Sasuke what's going on, and he sees that he does this by telekinesis or mind link. He can do that now, just go over it. And Sasuke's still fighting Itachi. Itachi's putting up an amazing fight, even being ill. It's going pretty similar to canon. He still does that, and Naruto speeds back to the village. And when he gets there, he just sees half of it destroyed and a massive tailed beast with 10 tails just roaring in the middle. Naruto dives full speed at this 10 tails and punches it, sending it flying away. He sees that masked man, Toby, who he thought was weak, just standing above him. But his mask was different now, it was white. He could see through the gaps, a Rinnegan and a Sharingan. This is going to be fun. With this, Naruto begins fighting off the 10 tails, and it's going quite easy. He's informed all the other villages, where he healed Gaara and told them to gather his troops. He's fighting them all off. But even him, he's struggling against his 10 tails. He can't get a good spot to stop absorbing its life energy. And that's when Naruto feels it, a presence like he's never felt before, speeding towards him. Naruto alerts everyone that they need to hold off against the 10 tails while they can. Naruto also knows what he has to do. Using his own chakra as a link, Uzumaki was part of the Senju clan at one point. He does multiple hand signs, getting the third Hokage to help him. He found this in a scroll, as well as after he killed Orochimaru. He found half of it in a scroll and the other half from Orochimaru. He slams his hand into the ground. This is similar to the reanimation, but it's working solely off Naruto's link. however old they were in the past, so say Hashirama lived to 100 and all etc. That took that amount of time off Naruto's lifespan, but it's fine now. Sage energy is permanently supplying Naruto with more life force, so his lifespan is constantly increasing. This is pure immortality. He summons up the first Hokage, the second Hokage, the fourth Hokage, them three. He sees him and he says, "Wait, Dad?" After seeing this, he tries it again, summoning up his own mother. They all look at Naruto and smile and hug him, but there's no time for that. He says to Hashirama, "I'm pretty sure Madara Uchiha's back, and he's coming." Hashirama says, "It's fine, I'll deal with him." He sprints off, intercept the Madara. Naruto goes with him, as he can sense Sasuke's on their way back, and he can also sense Sasuke has a massive power boost. They fly past each other, and he yells to Sasuke, "Deal with that massive beast!" Sasuke doesn't know what Naruto's talking about until he sees it, and he starts laughing, saying, "Damn it, Naruto." Sasuke had now unlocked his Eternal Genko Sharingan. But anyway, Hashirama and Naruto intercept Madara. Madara goes, Hashirama. So you've come, so it's a final reunion. I just came here to become the next sage of the 6th pass, but I guess I can entertain. He begins fighting with both his Sharingan activated. Don't ask me how he has it. Plot. And he's actually dealing with Hashirama quite easily, but for his surprise, Naruto is the one causing a problem. He's activated his KCM2 Sage mode, Snake Sage mode, everything. And with that, Naruto's speed is faster than Sharingan can keep up with. So every time randomly, a sudden huge hole appears in Madara's chest that takes some time to heal. But just as Naruto formed a massive Rasen Sharingan and chucks it towards Madara, Madara blocks it. Naruto's caught off guard. What? No damage? That's when he sees it. A Rinnegan. Naruto had been hiding his Rinnegan with transformation jutsu. But when he sees Madara's, he reveals his own. This scares Madara. How? How do you have a... It doesn't matter. I must go. Madara disappears and appears next to Obito on the Ten Tails. Seeing that Sasuke had his Eternal Genko Sharingan, he applauds, saying, "My clan truly is the greatest." Until he realizes that isn't a regular Genko Sharingan, it has Sage energy behind it. With this insane power boost, Sasuke shoots a massive arrow, and I mean this arrow half the size of the Ten Tails, which pierces the Ten Tail in the middle. That's when Naruto appears above it. He finally has a chance. He grabs onto the red Rinnegan and begins absorbing life energy to the point where that red Rinnegan turns white and disappears. Naruto feels insane pain course through his eyes as he jumps backwards. He's screaming in agony. That purple Sharingan, the red Sharingan, the Renny Sharingan should we call it, disappears from the Ten Tails and it appears in both of Naruto's eyes. Seeing this, Madara freezes up. How does he have the Renny Sharingan? My entire no, we must complete the plan now. Madara absorbs the Ten Tails, becoming the Ten Tails Jinchuriki. And he begins to laugh, saying, so even without the Ten Tails having their Renny Sharingan, I can access a portion of its power. It's enough for the infinite Suki. Naruto appears in front of Jiraiya and smacks him across the field, and he grabs Obito by his mask and shatters it. Seeing his face, catches Kakashi off guard. He says, "Obito." But Naruto has no clue who he is and he doesn't care. He activates Sage energy and pierces him through the chest. This doesn't kill him, but it puts him out of commission for a little bit, and he slaps him across the other side of the leaf village as well. He speeds towards Madara, thinking it'll be easy, until Madara finally gets a grasp on his new power. He summons up his black staff and swings it upwards, slicing away at Naruto. Naruto barely dodges this, but he gets impelled by this weird energy. Madara sends a massive black orb, a truth-seeking orb, directly at Naruto. Naruto recognizes the danger of this, and instead he absorbs it. When this happens, Naruto's heart stops, and he falls down to the ground. Madara has no clue what just happened, but he's going to take it. And at the same time, Sasuke, being caught off guard by another truth-seeking orb, had his heart absolutely destroyed. And they both fall and meet the Sage of the 6th Pass. They're together this time. And Naruto says, well, you're the sage with the 6 pass. What can you do for me? I already have Sage Energy, I already have a Rinnegan, because of course he gave Sasuke half a Rinnegan and 1. And the Sage with the 6 pass says to Naruto, well, I'm gonna inform you of some information. My mother is on her way. She's like a foe you've never seen. But also, I'm hoping you can do me a favour. I've been cursed with infinite life by my mother, so even when my mortal body disappeared, my soul remains. So now I'm forced to watch over time, govern it. Watch over dimensions. I'm hoping that you could free me from this. I am pure life force. Hearing this, Naruto is confused at first. He recognises the phrase life force, or life energy. And he says, so that's it. He puts his hands up and it absorbs the Sage of the 6 paths. When you look to the top right, he's caught off guard. The life energy that he saw before is now an infinity sign. And he snaps back into reality where he sees Madara, who was just about to destroy the Leaf Village, bursting up into a bubble. And he sees a white woman with white hair, white eyes, floating above the Leaf Village, giving him a death stare. Other than that, guys, hope you did enjoy. Make sure if you did, you share with your friends and family. Check out my thumbnail artist. Join the description below. Hit the notification bell so you do not miss another upload. And yeah, we're so close. We're 430, not even that, 330 subs away from 20k, bro. I believe we can do this. I have faith. Other than that, guys, peace out. Bye.